Is Dokkan finally getting co-op? Or PvP? Are we going to be finding out the identity of the upcoming Golden Week celebration, and will Global and JP be celebrating it together? Hopefully we can find out some of these answers in this producer's letter that just dropped about a little over an hour ago on the Global Dokkan Twitter account. So let's dive in and take a look at what is going on here. This month's producer's letter comes in two parts. Check out the results of the survey conducted in February and the latest news. Okay, so we're first going to be basically doing a rundown of the stats that came from the previous survey, which was conducted in February 16th until the 23rd. Hi everyone, this is the operation team of the international version of Dokkan Battle. Thank you for playing Dokkan Battle. In this producer's letter, we're going to announce the results of the survey recently held for the international version. On top of that, there are some other surprises, so make sure to read through to the end. Other surprises. Let's take a look. Your thoughts about high difficulty events. So here's the rundown based on your responses. So we're going to basically talk about this in the rundown here. But 57% of you would like to see more types of events like this, high difficulty events. 15% of you would like them to be easier to play. 20% of you are enjoying them, there's no need for changes, and 8% of you feel that they are too difficult and so you are not going to play them. Keep in mind, folks, that not everybody plays like you. Some people might have more experience in the game, some people might have less, some people might invest in this game more than you, some people might less. There's a very wide range of players spanning from day 1 or day 0 all the way until day 2000 and whatever that we've had Dokkan now. So there's a lot of different types of players, so it's understandable that there's some variation here. More than half of you have replied, I would like more of these types of events, as announced earlier under one of the key points of the update project version Z, adding and improving challenge features. We are developing new content for Dokkan veterans. It'll take some time before it's ready to be implemented, so stay tuned for further announcements. On the other hand, some of you also said they're too difficult or make them a bit easier. Together with the new content, we are also preparing improvements and adjustments to existing content that will make these events easier to play. These will be announced as soon as new information becomes available. So they are well aware that there are two major different groups of players, and even more than that, and they are trying to do what they can to add more to the veteran side and more to the new player side. So I am actually okay with this because, number one, they are taking note of the fact that this was the result of our survey. So they're showing us back the information that we provided, and they're showing that they're going to be taking that into account. I like this, especially given how version Z has delivered so far. I'm fairly confident that this is going to yield something very nice in the future of Dokkan. And as you guys know, version Z is an ongoing project. The pursuit of perfection is endless, folks. All right, now page 2. Your expectations for the friend function. This is going to be a good one. All right, and look at that. Look at the wide variation here. All right, so we'll just start from A to B. So A, 22% of you would like to play against friends. 43% of you would like to team up with friends. 25% of you would like to interact with friends. And D, I am satisfied. Okay, so 10% of you are satisfied with the current function. No need for changes. So some of these somewhat overlap. So it's kind of hard to, really take a stance or a position here. But just keep in mind that there is some overlap. That's probably why there's more variation. Dokkan Battle is a single-player game that can be enjoyed at one's preferred pace. Ah, okay. However, by looking at your replies to the survey, we are aware that many of you are also playing while sharing information with friends and other players. Therefore, we're considering implementing features that will allow you to cooperate with friends and invite friends to complete missions together. This will also make cooperating with friends possible while also keeping the play at your own pace aspect intact. Stay tuned. Okay, so there's actually a lot to take away from this. Number one, they've mentioned the at one's preferred pace twice here. So I think what that means is, folks, if you're thinking of some sort of a direct competition mode, kind of like Legends, where you take your team and you face off against a friend's team in terms of a head-to-head, battle to the finish, I don't think that's going to be happening. First of all, number one, that's basically Legends. Go play Legends. That's literally why Legends was created. And number two, I think that because they want to maintain the identity of Dokkan, because it is a PvE first game, they want to make sure that whenever the going gets tough, the player can sit back at their own pace and complete the task at hand. So by implementing some sort of interaction with other players, it would have to be done so in such a way where you're not forced to change your style of gameplay in order to accommodate whatever mode you're in, right? So I think that in order to maintain that, a PvP element is going to be sort of similar to what we already have in terms of a world tournament, or maybe something kind of like the power levels where you're competing with other friends if you happen to do so, in terms of seeing who has the highest power level. I would not be surprised if we have more things like cooperative missions, some sort of, you know, event where you can maybe take a friend on your friends list, where you can work directly together with them in an active capacity, kind of like Legends raid mechanic, and do something of that nature. That might be kind of cool. Maybe some sort of a guild system. I don't know. Things like that seem more up in Dokkan's wheelhouse rather than some direct PvP. So I think that this is going to be very interesting moving forward, what we're going to be getting from this. But notice how they've said play at your pace multiple times. That is definitely something to take note of. Who knows? Maybe we're actually going to get some co-op during Golden Week. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comments as we go through these. Let me know your conspiracy theories. Let's move on here. Reasons why you want to include a character on your team. 31% of you would like to see the character's animation, so you build a team focused around that character and join various events regardless of the difficulty level, aka showcases, right? 43% of you would like to check the character's performance, so you can build a team that includes that character and play difficult content. I would say this is essentially the point of Dokkan Battle. You get a new unit, you want to throw them onto a team that's relevant, and then take on the latest and greatest events. 21% of you want to see how the character works well with other characters on the team, and 5% of you give other answers. This question's purpose was to check how you play with the new characters you recruit. Those of you who include them on your team to play difficult content are the slight majority, but many also enjoy matching them with other characters or watching their animations. We will take your suggestions into consideration for future characters. For this one, I don't really know what to take away from this. I think this is more of a question of, you know, how the consumers use the products that are provided. Maybe this could lead to some sort of new event that could allow you to maybe have more of a practice mode. Actually, I would not be opposed to having some sort of a test dummy practice mode type of playground environment where you can take certain teams and try the various things that you want to try out. If you want to give the unit a nuking ability, or if you want to, you know, have the unit use a nuking item and see how hard they can hit on an event, something like that, that might be kind of cool. So if they can implement some sort of a trial zone or practice session, you know, shooting range, whatever you want to call it, that would be pretty neat. But that's pretty much all I can take away from this one. On to page 3, your expectations for the international version in the future. Oh boy, look at this. 66% of you want implementing characters at the same time as the Japanese version, aka you want global and JP on the same timeline. 8% of you would like to implement characters prior to the JP version, so some of you are just like, nah, forget JP, global reigns supreme, global should be getting the units first. 22% of you would like to see more global exclusives, and 4% of you give other answers. So obviously this has been kind of the elephant in the room for a long time, that most people want the two versions to be on the same timeline. The majority of you are expecting to have characters implemented at the same time as the Japanese version. We are considering increasing the number of events held at the same time as the Japanese version. In fact, this year we are already having plans for campaigns that will be held simultaneously. Make sure you don't miss any further updates. This, I don't know if I'm being a negative Nancy here, but I don't really see the type of wording that I want to see. I kind of feel like, based on the type of response that they're giving here, I think that they are aware that we want global and JP on the same version, or 66% of us anyway, but they don't really want to do that. They want to instead still have a couple variation campaigns and have just more frequent simultaneous campaigns. And the fact that they said we already have plans for campaigns that will be held simultaneously, yeah, no duh. We have the Worldwide Download Celebration, we have Saiyan Day, and we have Golden Week. Granted, this year is a bit of an anomaly. That is already 3 celebrations, and maybe more if they want to throw in more. So I don't really know if this necessarily means that they are going to be putting the two versions together, but they're very much aware that we care about that. So who knows? We will see. And I think this is the last one for the producer's letter. Your expectations for the producer's letter. 58% of you like to see it as new information for characters and events. 29% of you see it as communication with the operation team via surveys. Actually, wait, is it 2%? Yeah, 2% of you see it as other, and 11% of you have no specific expectations. I think this is because this is still relatively kind of new, so people don't really know what to expect yet. But I was one of the people who voted for new characters and event information being brought in the producer's letter. As the operation team, we are striving to improve the game while listening to your opinions, and we hope you continue to enjoy our upcoming letters. So this is a very informative one that I was very much a fan of, and I hope that they can do things like this moving forward. I love seeing our collective responses broken down into these little statistical breakdowns. And last but not least, the final page of the producer's letter. We have read every single comment we received. We are referring to them when planning updates and events. I don't know if this is, you know, some sort of a comment meant for all of you trolls out there who like to troll Dokkan, but they know who you are and they know what you did. One last thing. The information on the next campaign will be released on the 24th of April PST. Who will the new characters be? Try to guess in the comments. Notice how it says, who will the new characters be? Now, this could be in reference to a new Dokkan Fest and the banner unit, or this could be in reference to 2 new Dokkan Festival units. If it is 2 new Dokkan Festival units, then that basically means dual Dokkan Fest, which would mean Golden Week. Now, a lot of people are already under the assumption that both JP and Global are set to have Golden Week at the same time. Does this really give us a confirmation of that? Maybe. Depending on how you interpret this sentence right here, that could be a soft confirmation. Maybe this character is referring to the plural of a dual Dokkan Fest. Could be. The 24th is actually the same time last year when we received the animations for the GT Super Saiyan Goku and the GT Super Saiyan Vegeta. So if that is actually going to be happening at the same time, then that also is another flag pointing to joint Golden Week on Global and JP. And lastly, I do want to point out, the current campaign for Global, April 27th, is the end day for the Mysterious Kai Ritual Summons on 10:29 PST, which is actually 11:30 PST from my time zone. And then for JP, their Kai Ritual Summons ends on the 28th at 16:59 JST. So how do we convert that together? Well, if we take 22:29 PST from this number right here on the 27th in Los Angeles, that gives us 3:29 p.m. on the 28th JST. 3:29 is equal to 15:29. Here it says 16:59. So could that hour-and-a-half gap be enough to separate these two campaigns, or is that just within the margin of error that we are in fact going to be getting a joint Global and JP Golden Week celebration? You guys tell me. I feel like it is all but certain at this point, but hey, anything can happen because Dokkan is quite unpredictable in that way. But there you have it, folks. There it is. That is the joint. Look at me getting ahead of myself. That is the producer's letter for the Global side of the game. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, do you think Global and JP are going to be having Golden Week together? Do you think this confirms it, deconfirms it? And what do you think about all of the data that we saw in that producer's letter? Do you think that we're going to be getting some co-op very soon? Do you think we're going to be getting some sort of PvP, or maybe even more frequent joint celebrations with JP? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you're going to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.